So, hi guys, welcome back to this week's podcast. And a lot's happened since we last filmed this podcast. Last filmed our podcast. Most notably, about a couple of days after, and then maybe 48 hours after that. I am, in fact, referring to the European Super League, as you may have seen over the course of last weekend. There was 12 clubs in total?
Yeah, 12 confirmed clubs. There was set to be, I think, 20. Like, that was the plan. There was 12 at the current time that they said.
Yeah, because there was supposed to be... yeah, I can hear you. So there was 12 teams in this league on Sunday night. 6 of them being from the Premier League. Manchester United,
Big Six.
Manchester United, Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
With the other 6 being Real Madrid, Barcelona, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, and Juventus.
Good knowledge.
It's all in the past. I think the worst thing is it's all in the past now. It was
hopefully.
Always doomed. Yeah, hopefully. It was doomed to us from the start.
So did
anyway.
you see that? Was his name? Was it Florentin Perez? Is that his name?
The guy from Real Madrid.
That's doing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
he was
Florentino Perez. Yeah.
They haven't left yet. And I was like, oh no.
But
God, no! Please let him leave.
I don't trust anything he says, because one of his quotes was, "Oh, young people don't like football."
Yeah,
Right,
he said.
okay.
Did you see something that he said that? Like 16 to 24-year-olds, 40% of the population don't watch football. So it's either that the football isn't interesting enough, or that's too long. So we might have to shorten the games. What?
The other one was that I saw as well. It was they were going to count Champions Leagues as titles. Yeah. So Real Madrid would go into this Super League with 13 Super League titles.
I don't get how you can just change it, even though the Champions League was still going to be a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Why even do that? What's the point? To give it more validity? But how can you say you won a Champions League 20 years ago when it was only founded this year? You know what I mean? A European Super League 20 years ago when it was founded this year. So it doesn't make any sense. It's just trying to give it more prestige and more validity than it had.
But the thing is, that gets me is this whole Super League thing was supposed to run alongside the normal domestic leagues. But it was supposed to be a midweek league, but you can't do it midweek because, let's just take England, for example. Monday night, it's Premier League. Tuesday, it's Champions League or Carabao Cup, or even League.
Yeah, sometimes.
Wednesday, it's the League, Champions League or Carabao Cup. Thursday, you got Europa, and again, possibly League. Friday, it's Premier League, and then you can't do it the weekend. So I don't know how they would have even done it.
They'd have just forced it down our throats. If it went through, they'd just have forced it down our throats and just said, deal with it. We don't care. We're putting it on telly. You're going to have to pay to watch it. If you don't want to watch it, whatever. But if you do, you got to pay.
Yeah.
I was thinking they probably would have even sorted out some new TV show just to air that. So you had to pay a stupid amount of money, like they did halfway through this season with the paying for individual games.
Yeah.
They probably would have done something like that. Rather than paying for the whole package, you probably have to pay per game. It would have been stupid and ridiculous. And I'm glad, even if an element of it still occurs, I'm just glad that hopefully all English teams won't be involved.
Yeah, I don't think they will, because now they've seen the backlash from it all. Today you had
done it in the first place.
No, like you saw.
I don't get what the benefit was.
Yeah, it was owners being greedy at the end of the day, really.
Yeah, but that's all it was. What was the benefit?
There was no real benefit.
Money. Just money. That was all it was.
As we've said several times on this podcast, the clubs that were in that Super League who say they're suffering financially are suffering financially from their own mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like we said several times, now you're looking at Barcelona and Real Madrid and, some of the top elite clubs are only just about dipping into their youth academy. When you actually think about it, I know United were in the Super League, but United have been dipping into the academy for years. They've always been producing people.
I think it's something like 30, 40 years or something that they've always had a graduate in their team in a Premier League game or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, you look at the current team. You've got McTominay, Greenwood, Henderson, Brandon Williams, Rashford. Is there more I'm missing? Shoretire, I know he came in a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm probably missing some, but there's probably a good at least 6 in their, bench and first team. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you forget that he was like that. Jesse Lingard.
He spent majority of the time in the youth system.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forget about that. But yeah, I mean, probably half their, well, a third of their current squad probably is from the graduates. Whereas, yeah, like you said, you can't say that about. I was trying to think of the Real Madrid. I was trying to think of anyone that did come up through their youth system.
Valdivare, or whatever he's called. I think.
No, he didn't.
Did he not?
No, they bought him.
Asensio?
No, they bought him from like a Uruguay team. Maybe Asensio.
But was it? Oh no, was it? Oh, was he Malaga or Mallorca? One of the two.
That's Isco.
All right, yeah.
Isco came from Malaga.
Yeah.
But I think he might be. But then you think of players like Rodrigo and Vinicius, but they were bought.
Yeah.
They're not young players through the graduate. And I'm trying to think of Barcelona. They've done it now, obviously, with like Pedri, Todibo. I know is one.
Who's that other one?
Another one.
Begins with an X.
I wasn't just having a go at you then. Like that's the
yeah, I know. There's a guy that gives an X. I can't remember what his flipping name is.
Xherdan Shaqiri. Is that it?
Xavi. Oh yeah, yeah.
There's a handful, but there's not. But many
that's and like we said, they've only just started to do it because now they've realised, we can't spend 100 million or plus a season getting players.
Yes, it's not that they want to; it's that they almost have to.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of like another team that do it. Man United is one of the better examples.
Yeah, well, especially at the top level.
Maybe German clubs like Bayern Munich do it a little bit.
Yeah, Dortmund do it as well. But the thing is with Dortmund is they buy and then just develop.
Yeah, to sell. They're not looking to keep them for years and years and years. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the Premier League. Unless there aren't many big clubs that do it, because if you're a little club, you sort of have to because you can't afford the big players. But if you're a big club, it's sort of not seen as a necessity and almost a waste of time to do that when you can buy an 18-year-old for 20 million.
Well, it's like if you take a look at City's the prime example. You've got Phil Foden, who's academy graduate, who's you could argue is one of the best under the 23 players in the world, alongside Haaland and Mbappe, obviously. But then if you actually look at that squad,
you could say that about the midfield then.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
But then if you look at that squad, there's not really that many academy graduates. You got Eric Garcia, but again, he was bought in.
Yeah.
He's been brought. Came from Barcelona. Liam Delap is one who's, I don't know whether he sits on the bench or not, but he's not playing in the Premier League.
I think he does quite a lot.
I
think it is just Foden and him.
Yeah.
I was going to say Zinchenko just because he's been there for a while, but he was bought as well.
Yeah.
He's not really academy. But yeah, it's just them two, I think.
Yeah, there's not really... United is the best example, especially in the elite clubs.
Yeah, exactly. because they don't have to do it, but they choose to do it because it makes them look good, and they're developing strong players. Like a lot of the players that they bring into their first team. I mean, you do have the odd exceptions, but the majority of them are good quality. Like you have the odd exceptions like Federico Makeda,
Chong.
Yeah. Players like that are put into the first team but don't quite do it. They're just not good enough. But you're always going to get that. Not everyone's going to be a Marcus Rashford, going to be a Mason Greenwood, going to be Dean Henderson. They're not all going to be like that.
No, and that's
and often
what...
you find that sorry.
No, carry on.
Okay, I was going to say, especially sort of 10, 15, 20 years ago, it wasn't the big names. Like other than the class of 92, after then, who really was it? Like, because even like you think of the young players United had, you think Ferdinand was young when he signed for United, but he didn't start there. Ronaldo didn't start there. Rooney didn't start there. A lot of the class of 92 played up until like 2010, 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
So I suppose, there weren't really a hell of a lot. Sort of the last, 6, 7 years, sort of when Fergie left. I'd say maybe Tom Cleverley, players like that, Darren Gibson, Fletcher,
Jones.
Players like that came up through their youth system. Jones didn't come up through the youth system.
But yeah, like,
is there a delay?
A slight one.
Fair enough.
But yeah, the Super League was set up to try and make them money, but like I said, it was never going to work because when football fans realise, oh, this is just they're just gonna force, just basically destroy everyone else, because in their eyes it was going to be them or nobody.
Yeah, exactly. They kept talking about a pyramid and stuff like that, but there shouldn't be a pyramid in football. I know you have to have them because the successful teams do well, but why are you trying to force a bigger pyramid? You want the teams at the top to get richer and force that massive gap. You shouldn't want that because that just makes kids growing up and things like that make it seem unrealistic to get to the top. But it's not. Like, you can make it if you've got the talent, but it was ridiculous, and it's a good idea that it never started.
And then but the thing is, the one thing that did get me was the fact that they didn't. This whole thing was constructed and was done in secrecy to the point where none of the managers, none of the players even knew.
Yeah, I remember. Who was it? Pep. Tuchel, I think, said as well.
Pep came out. Tuchel, but Tuchel said, "I trust the club to do what they need to do, because we want to play in competitive leagues or whatever. But I trust the club," that kind of thing. Then I think when they played Brighton, that's when he started to not necessarily backtrack, but was like, "Oh, we're not. Yeah, the Super League's not for us," that kind of thing. Whereas Klopp's been against this kind of idea of a European Super League for quite a few years.
Yeah,
because he completely believes what the Liverpool message was, which has always been, the fans are first. Everybody, no matter what, doesn't matter. There's a flipping slogan across the gates: "You'll never walk alone." Crying out loud. Yeah. And then I think and then Pep, and then Pep was like, "It's not a sport if you're guaranteed to win, or there's no real issue. There's nothing bad's gonna happen to you if you lose," kind of thing.
Yeah, it shouldn't be guaranteed. You should have to work for it, whether you're City or Burnley or whatever. You should have to. I know Burnley will never get Champions League, but you never know. They might have a really good season one season, but no. It should never be guaranteed. You should have to work for it regardless. It should not play for you, because then it just causes what's the word? Causes complacency in player owners. Teams get by it, so it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous, and like we said, it's just it's dead in the water now, which is great. But the fact that I think Barcelona came out earlier today. I don't know when. I think it was because I think I saw Gary Lineker tweeting. Barcelona are still going to be in it. They've said they're not leaving.
How? England don't want to be in it. France don't want to be in it. Well, the big team in France aren't going in it. The two big teams in Germany aren't going to be it. So you're going to have a league of Spanish and Italian teams.
Well, even then, AC Milan's gone or going.
Italy out of the top 6 probably. Yeah, then who do you bring in? The Netherlands, Eredivisie, and the Super League, and Porto and teams like that.
Perez said he would not touch Turkey. Turkey is too small of a club in Turkey.
But they bring fucking insane fans. You get probably good gate receipts because they'll go mental.
But he said he would never. Well, I know. I think Porto said they had.
That's not Super League.
Yeah, Porto said they had an invitation, then they declined it.
How can you have Porto? Well, if they did that far in the Champions League, there ain't no way they would have gotten in. That's so short on every season.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's just happy that it's sort of dead in the water for now. We're not gonna see the big Titans running football anytime. I think we will probably see a big shift in club ownership maybe within the next between 2 and 5 years. I think in the next 5 years, I think we'll see a big shift in club ownership, not necessarily from the big teams, but just in general throughout the whole pyramid, because I think people are starting to understand the fact that the fans' voice is needed. Well, you need the fans' voice.
Yeah, of course you do.
Because the other reason why the German clubs didn't come in is because they have to have the fans voting on stuff.
Yeah, that's what we should have here.
Yeah, we definitely should. Because it doesn't have to be a sole fan-owned club. Like, for example, Wickham, for example, that's a fully owned fan-owned club. You could still have, because I think Bayern's got an owner, but I can't remember exactly how the rule works. It's something like you have it's like a 50. I don't know whether it's a 50-50 split or whatever between the fans and the owner, and you need 51% majority to win something like I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I think it is 51.
But yeah, it gives the fans something they vote on everything. Everything from joining the Super League to getting a new ground to whatever, ticket prices, for crying out loud.
Yeah, but so far the Premier League fans worse for the team. They want the best. They're not going to. They want to do to be run well. They're not going to decisions.
So just turn the video off for now because the internet's not. It's not reliable at the moment. You'll still be able to hear us though. I know that's going to be a blessing and a curse for some people. The other thing as well is now I think the clubs need to understand that they need to be more accessible to fans as well, especially some of the big clubs. Like I know this is, again, I'm going off Liverpool and I'm going off what people have told me and what I've seen. But to get to, if you're a Liverpool fan and you wanted to go to watch them play Bournemouth away, you had to go to every single Liverpool home game for 8 years. And
Right.
that's a lot of money to fork out.
Yeah, true.
And that's the kind of thing I think they need to start to fix. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I know Perez said, you know, 40% of 16 to 24-year-olds don't watch football, but that's because A, either they're working, or B, it's too expensive.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's got nothing to do with how the football's played, because football now is interesting. His point about it not being interesting enough is not true, in my opinion. I think it's the most interesting it's been. It
Yeah.
is due to finances, or, like you said, not having the time or not being able to go. It's got nothing to do with choosing not to watch it.
Yeah, it's just stupid. You know, let's have a look. Average Premier League ticket price. So this was, so this is 2019-20 season. So last season, is it season before? Season before. Or is it? No, it's last season.
What? 2019-20 was last season, yeah.
Yeah, so last season. The highest ticket price, match day ticket, this is, so buying on the day, it was Arsenal at £97.
Oof.
The cheapest it was West Brom at £39.
That's still 40 quid for... Jeez. How many hours is that? Like 4? 4 hours work? And that's on the cheap end.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I think minimum wage is 8 for... Let's I'll have a look. Minimum wage for... All right, so yeah, 23 and overs is 8, so £8.91, so about £9 for to work. So you need, if you're an Arsenal fan, you would need to do 10 hours worth of work.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. You can't justify watching an hour and a half game to work 4.5 hours.
Yeah, 11 hours worth of work to go watch your team, and then even then you can't even buy any food at the game because it'd be too expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it'd probably be like £8 for a burger or something.
Yeah.
So there's another hour's worth of wages just to eat a burger in 10 minutes.
Yeah. The highest, it's like season tickets as well. Season tickets, the cheapest is 330, which was West Ham.
That's good value for money, to be fair.
Yeah, it is. And then the cheapest season ticket, but the most expensive, but the cheapest, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Was Arsenal at £891.
Jesus, £891.
Yeah.
That's mad.
That's just stupid.
That's crazy money. Considering like, you'd expect those numbers off of like a United or a City or even a Liverpool, but an Arsenal.
Well, yeah, especially with, you know, I know Wenger wasn't like, you know, you still expect him to be like, well, the fans need to be able to pay out and things like that, and the fact that the fans were pay. That's you know, you got the whole stadium and everyone's paying. Let's call it £900, and that's a full house. Well, obviously, not everyone's gonna have a season ticket, but you know that's flipping like 60. That's 60,000 times 900.
Trying to work out
that. I'll do that now.
Six-ish million.
No, it's a bit more than that. 54 million.
Oh, okay.
So that's 54 million on a match day.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And bear in mind that's everyone at the cheapest end. So you'll still have quite a few people. You'll have quite a few people who will be, you know, in the top expensive ones.
Yeah.
And then that's like £2,013.
That's crazy. That's just. I didn't realize it was that expensive because I've never bought a season ticket or I've never thought about it. But with them prices, I couldn't justify paying that.
Yeah, it's like, and then I don't like I understand what he was trying to get across of the fact that 16 to 24-year-olds aren't interested in football, but then the other flip side of the coin is, well, why is it not then? Is it because it's not accessible? Is it because they've got other things are happening, that kind of thing? And that's what some of them. That's what like these owners tend to forget.
Yeah, they just blame it on the public, blame it on the individual rather than the external, that affecting them.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah. So I'm having a look now, right? So let's have a look. This is Rochdale. Let's have a look. So try and see if I can find something that says it. Oh no, that's not on the prices. I don't know whether I can find the prices. But I think yeah. Right, so you can buy at Rochdale. You can buy a season ticket, a season card, which is basically a season ticket, and that adult is £200, which is equivalent to £8.70 a game.
How much are you take
The tickets normally
a game? Like 20 quid?
Yeah.
Sure, the Arsenal one is a good reduction, but it still just seemed to.
Yeah, it's just, and then you wonder how they get any supporters at all. If if they're having to pay the cheapest.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just boggling.
Yeah,
But then Arsenal have always had that expensive ticket anyway.
Yeah, because they're living off the history.
Yeah,
as usual.
That was one thing that a lot of people were talking about with this Super League, was the fact that Tottenham and Arsenal were in it, even though the likes of Leicester, who've won a league title who've won a league title much later, much closer than
Much
Tottenham
more
has.
recently.
That's what I was trying to say. Much more recently than Tottenham being 1961.
Well, and Arsenal.
Well, Arsenal was 2003-4, wasn't it, when they won? Yeah, when they won the Invincibles.
Well, yeah, so they won it 12 years more recently.
I think, if I remember right, I think someone said, I can't remember, I think it was Squawker or someone. They said that Schalke had appeared in more Champions League semi-finals than Arsenal have, and they're fighting relegation. Well, they've been relegated from the Bundesliga this year.
Yeah, they've been relegated. Jeez, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
yeah. It's the owners more than the fans and all that sort of stuff. I mean, the fans and stuff obviously still view their club as a big club because of the history they've got, and obviously they've lived through that history. But yeah, if you're going to have a European Super League, you can't have Tottenham. You could maybe have Arsenal.
Yes, with the prestige, but
but you can't have Tottenham. You can't have Tottenham. Just because they've been hitting, top 3, 4, 5 for the last however many years doesn't make them a good bloody team. They weren't much before Harry Redknapp took over. Harry Redknapp's the reason he was the stepping stone for where they're at now.
Oh, 100%. Him, Peter Crouch, Jermaine Defoe, Nico Kranjčar.
Yeah, the three amigos.
Yeah.
Tom Huddleston, Jermaine Genius, Brad Friedel.
Aaron Lennon.
Oh, Aaron Lennon, yeah, that's a good one. Clint Dempsey.
Yeah.
Just thinking about Tottenham players.
Yeah.
Eunice Kabul.
Yeah. But the point.
Benoit Asoakoto. Oh.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Tottenham, we'll get back to Super League ones in a minute. Getting rid of Mourinho.
Oh yeah, true.
I heard Jamie Carragher quote. Not necessarily. Obviously, he didn't steal from us, but he also said that Mourinho is done in the Premier League. He needs to go back to Italy or Portugal, which is exactly what we said.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I not being successful with the Tottenham side that is got a very good attack, a solid midfield, a shaky defence, but I mean, you can still do okay with a shaky defence. He's very massively underachieved. He should have been fighting for. Realistically, I think him, Liverpool, Chelsea, and United should have been pushing for second spot.
Oh yes, there should be more of a fight for second.
Yeah, easily. He very much underwhelmed. Not won a thing in being there for a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. Not won any. Well, I mean, he could have had the opportunity to win something coming
this weekend.
Up, but I mean, that's been taken away from him.
See, that's the one.
I'm surprised they didn't sack him sooner, to be honest.
That's the one that got me the most, was the fact, the timing of it.
Yeah.
With the Carabao Cup coming up at the weekend, he's won. I think he's the only manager to have beaten Pep in a final. Not really. I say recently, but when they face each other,
yeah,
and then they want to go and sack him.
But
I would have at least waited until that game, till after the game.
Yeah, yeah, but then maybe Levy's thinking, maybe they'll get rid of the negativity and having someone like Ryan Mason, who, I mean, a lot of the players in that team will know.
Yeah,
he's like one of the lads. Maybe it will be good for that, and they'll want to do it for him because of how he bowed out. Whereas maybe they didn't want to do it for Mourinho and things like that. Maybe that was his thinking, and there's no pressure on Ryan Mason to get a result, whereas there was every pressure under the sun for Mourinho to get them a trophy.
Yeah, that's true.
I understand why they sacked him, but also I don't know where they go from here. I don't know where Mourinho goes from here, and I also don't know where Tottenham goes from here, because they're going to have, because they're such a vulnerable club at the minute, they're going to have a good 4 or 5 players being picked off that team. Harry Kane's presumably going to leave. Son might leave. Bergwijn might leave. Moura might leave. Ndombele might leave. Højbjerg, you never know. There are players in that team that could be picked. Dele Alli, probably. Yeah. There's a good 6 or 7 players in that team, all from the front. Like, there aren't any defenders that anyone would really want.
The only one I would say that could possibly go would be Reguilon.
Yeah, but him moving there so.
Yeah, that's recently. The only. That's the only thing that would stop
everyone else has been there for a while. He's like the newest transfer, so you debate that he would probably stick out for another year and see where it goes.
Yeah,
and if not, I mean, Sevilla would probably take him back in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, it was also the timing of it was just weird. Coming up to it's not a major final because because you only get $500,000, I think, for winning it.
Tottenham don't care about that; they want a trophy.
Well, yeah, they've only got the Audi Cup in there at the moment.
City don't care about winning the trophy. Well, obviously they do, but I mean, they're going to win the Premier League. They've got far in the Champions League.
Yeah, City are right about Champions League. They don't care about any other trophy. Obviously, they care about the Premier League, but
that's pretty much a shoo-in at the minute. They want that Premier League, and they need to at least get to the final for fans to sort of realise that they're good enough.
Yeah,
I think if they don't make the final, it's not good enough.
Especially with this team that they've got right now.
This team, I think, in terms of results, I think it's underachieving.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
they don't look very good in the Premier League. They look like they don't care.
That's because they're breezing it out, really.
Yeah, but they're not. I mean, they're 9 points above United. They were breezing it.
Yeah.
And I think they've taken their foot off the pedal a little bit. But
yeah,
I mean, if people want to say that this City team is so dominant, they should be finishing 15 plus points ahead of anyone else this season, and they're not going to. I mean, they might do, but I don't see it. I think they finish within 7 or 8 points of United, maybe even 5, and you can't say that City team is a dominant one.
No, especially when you look at the only reason why. Well, this is going to sound bad, but the only reason why City is where it is, City where they are, is because of the back end performances.
Yeah, the recent performances haven't been good enough. The first sort of 25 games have been solid, but the last 5, 6, 7 haven't been assuring.
No, especially we saw again last night. I know they won 2-1 last night, but it wasn't that convincing.
Yeah, I watched that game. I mean, you can say it wasn't convincing, but Villa didn't do anything. Other than that first thing, Villa did practically nothing.
Yeah, I guess. But it's like, was it the weekend when they lost to Leeds?
Yeah.
They lost to Leeds at the weekend. I know Leeds, it's not a shock that they lost to Leeds, but it is a shock that they lost to Leeds. I know what you mean. Because you would have expected City, of all teams, to be picking off that Leeds team.
You would have thought so. They're a vulnerable side, still, probably waiting for probably waiting for the next transfer window just to get some players to fill out the team a little bit more. And, City have got the depth, and that's the problem with City. They have so much depth, but they don't really use it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that is true, because it's like, if you look at the team, that played, if you look at this, for the one position that they definitely don't have good depth in, is the striker position.
Yeah. Well, we said, yeah, exactly. I've said that before. Like, they've got Aguero, who's world class, Jesus, who's pretty decent, and then Liam Delap, and it's like there's stages. It's like a top Premier League player, a decent Premier League player, and probably like a Championship player. There needs to be less of a bridge between each player, and I feel like there isn't. There's so much gap between each player, it's ridiculous. Their starting 11 is strong. They've got a good 4 or 5 players that can come on, but then after that, like, it's not very, very good.
Yeah,
for a team of their quality and their spending, it's not great.
No, and it's like, well, if you just look at like I said, some of the positions, the goalkeeper's one of them. I know goalkeeper. When your backup keeper is then there's going to be a massive gap anyway. But you look at Edison and then look at Zach Steffen.
I don't think that is too much of a problem, to be honest. I think Zach Steffen's actually quite good.
But he's
not City quality.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It's like it is just if Zinchenko hadn't have changed, for example, and been able to adapt quickly to what he needed to be doing at City, he'd have been gone.
Yeah, 100%. You look at the two left. I mean, their left backs are so poor. They've had to play João Cancelo at that left back.
Yeah.
Zinchenko isn't naturally a left back. He's been forced into that position, and Mendy.
He spends most of the time on the injury table.
And I don't rate him at all. I know that Monaco team made him look good, but he definitely got the short end of the straw when they signed him compared to everyone else that left that Monaco team.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva.
And Bakayoko wasn't quality, but him and Bakayoko are probably the worst two that managed to fluke their way into quality sides.
Yeah. Yeah. you know, like I said, you can look at the City team and go, oh, maybe not. Yeah, they don't have the best in this position, or this position, you know. But there are some that, like, you could look at that midfield, any of those midfield, you think, well, you could take this person out, put this person in. For example, take Rodri out, put Fernandinho in. It's not really changed much. You know, take De Bruyne out, put Foden in. I know Foden would probably play anyway, but it's like,
Yeah.
but then even then, it's like, take Gundogan out, put Bernardo Silva in.
Mm-hmm.
That's a solid midfield they've got.
Yeah, all six of those players could sort of do a position in any one of those positions.
Yeah.
If they had to. Like, Rodri could probably play further forward. De Bruyne could sit a little bit. You know, Foden could go as a winger. Mahrez could probably even play more central if he had to. Ferran Torres could probably play more central. It worries me about the strikers, and like you said, even though they're centre backs, it still worries me about the defence. I know they've spent a lot on their defence, but they just haven't got it right. Ruben Diaz looks solid. Laporte looks solid. Stones looks okay. He had the mistake, the other day, but he looks okay. Zinchenko doesn't sell it for me. Benjamin Mendy doesn't sell it for me. Kyle Walker doesn't sell it for me.
Not anymore, anyway, for Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker
Walker's rash, and his football IQ is not there.
He used
IQ for a very experienced player at Aston Villa, Sheffield United, Tottenham, Man City. He's been in the Premier League for 10 plus years, and his football IQ is poor.
Yeah.
He doesn't read the game well. He makes crucial mistakes. He's too attacking. He doesn't read the game well. But, I mean, they can get away with it because they score so many goals. But, I mean, that's been their excuse for the last few years, but it is catching up with them a little bit now. And I think next season, I don't know what they're going to do, because if they buy more defenders, Pep's going to be at the chopping block in terms of fans. And if they don't get a striker, they're also going to, I don't know.
He's going to be at the chopping block anyway.
I think if they sign Haaland, they've won the league. But if they don't, I'm not sure.
It depends what business everyone else does at the end of the day for the transfer window. Because
I think it depends where Kane goes, and it depends where Haaland goes. If either one of those players goes to a United, a Chelsea, a Liverpool,
any of the top six in any of the top six.
Well, really. I don't see either of those two players going anywhere else in England. If it's not City, then United, Chelsea, or Liverpool.
Well, I think they're the only ones that can afford them.
Well, I mean, also, why would they leave their current club to go anywhere else?
Yeah,
but yeah, in terms of finances, if Haaland goes to any of those three teams, or Harry Kane goes to any of those three teams, and City don't sign either Haaland or Kane, whoever gets one of those players is automatically, I think, more of a shoo-in for the title next season than City.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just
because this team isn't aging, but you look at players like Zinchenko, like we've said, Zinchenko and Mendy aren't reliable. Kyle Walker, not reliable. Stones, he's making mistakes now. Laporte was out for a long time with injury. You've got Fernandinho, who's aging. You've got Ferran Torres, who isn't the most reliable. He's not been playing a hell of a lot. Gabriel Jesus, who's not so reliable. Like, they had reliable players in every position at one point. Like, you had Clichy, you had Zabaleta, you had Kompany, you had David Silva, you had Aguero, you had the heart of the team. Now the players that they need in those positions just aren't working, and they need to replace them quick, and they can't just chuck a load of money at it. They have to think smart. And whether that's more of a transitional period, I don't know. Just a 2 or 3 year period where it's more competitive for the title rather than them winning, so that they can boost up again. I don't know, but they need to do something, because it's catching up to them. It's catching up to them a lot. From that season, they got 100 and something points or whatever it was. Last season they got 90 something. This season they're probably going to get 80 something. If it carries on, they're looking next season 70 something. And that's not going to win the league.
No, but it makes it interesting next season, though.
100%. But saying all that, I see a player like Haaland signing for City. I think if he goes anywhere, it probably will be City. or
Yeah.
I think City. I think City at the moment is more favourable than Real Madrid. So I think City's probably one of the most favourable teams in the world, to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe Bayern Munich, but
but then I don't think that I don't see Haaland staying in Germany.
No, that was what I was going to say. I think if he wants to move, there's no point just joining a slightly better team. Well, a better team. You might in the same country. You might as well have to go for something completely different.
Not only that, especially with Bayern Munich, especially I know Lewandowski's not. He's not young, but he's not retiring within the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So and Haaland's too good to be sat around.
The thing is that like you said, yeah, they're not gonna. Lewandowski's not going to retire for another 2 or 3 years. He's going to get them at least 20, 25 goals in each of those seasons. And when they need to find a striker, they're not going to have any trouble finding one because any striker that they're keen in will want to play for him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's not the same as like a United or a Liverpool where it's like, oh well, you haven't done that great this season. If you're say in 2 years' time and you're a 21, 22-year-old striker, and Bayern Munich or say I don't know Man United are interested in you, you're going to go to Bayern Munich.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's just with especially like I said, Haaland now is not good. Like I said, he's too good to sit on the bench anywhere, and there's only a few clubs that can actually afford him. Really, let's put it that way.
Yep.
3 of them being in England, 4 of them being in England, probably 2 being in Spain, but then again, I don't know about Barcelona. And then maybe 1 in Italy. But even then, I don't know.
There's not a massive net for him. But to be honest.
Yeah, and not only that.
It's a big net, but not huge.
Well, not only that, if you looking at some of the clubs, it's like you've got Juve, you've got Ronaldo, you've got Morata, just as strikers alone. You know, you've got there's quite a lot of competition anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have to go to a club where he's going to be. He should be first team, the starter wherever he goes, but he wants to go somewhere where he can win titles, he can score lots of goals, and he's going to be the first name on the team sheet. And I think you look at any one of them Premier League teams, he's probably guaranteed that pretty much any 4 of those teams, you know, City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, he's probably guaranteed those things. You go to Real Madrid, I think he's guaranteed that. Oh, I don't know.
But then again, I'm thinking, he's going to be underneath like Zidane. For some, I know Benzema is a good player when he scored goals, but that's who Zidane plays.
I mean, this season he's got like 35 goal contributions. He's having a mad one.
Yeah, it's probably his best season in a while, but
I think it is.
You know, like I said, it's for some reason. Even when Benzema's not really performing well, Zidane sticks by him.
I think maybe it's the loyalty thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's didn't they both come from the same club or something?
Huh?
I thought they both come from the same club. You know, in France.
Well, I don't know. I didn't.
Of same area or something like that. It's just
Possibly.
Something about it. I think I've seen.
I know
I think I saw
Benzema.
It.
They signed Benzema from Lyon. I don't know if Zidane played for Lyon. Did he?
I don't know. But yeah, it's just like I said. For some reason, it just seems like he stuck by him because, like I said, like you know, they went like a couple of seasons ago. They went and flipping bought Luka Jovic, and now he's on loan at Frankfurt.
Yeah, we've talked about it before that they don't seem to get the right players in. I think, how old's Benzema now? 32?
Let me double check. But
33.
they don't get the right players in, because for some reason it seems like they panic buy when they don't need to.
Jeez, he's been there for 12 years and he's got a 1 in 2. He scores 1 goal every 2 games. Wow.
That's not bad.
190 career goals. Well, 190 league goals in 377 games for Real Madrid.
That's not bad at all.
That's mad.
But yeah, it's like for some reason Real Madrid panic buy when they don't need to.
Yeah, they're a very attractive club, and I think but then that goes back to Perez or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
it shows that he's not smart. Like, you're Real Madrid, any player is going to want to play for you.
Yeah, you just need to be smart about it. You don't have to go out and get every single player.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it worked. Well, I say it worked under the Galacticos. I suppose it didn't really, did it? Not the Galacticos, when they bought like all the best players, because they didn't win a Champions League, innit?
Yeah.
So I suppose it didn't really work. They won, I think, a few leagues and stuff, but they didn't do as good as they could have done.
No, and that's what football. That's what football's about.
Yeah.
Because football's not about going out and spending all the money.
No.
In buying loads. I know, like, for example, Chelsea did it when Abramovich first came in. They went out and bought a load of players, and brought Mourinho in, won back-to-back titles. But then after that, nothing. Then after that was it.
But that quickly falls apart.
Yeah.
It's fair enough buying the players for a 2 or 3 year period, but once you do it once, the fans expect it of you all the time. And when you buy, a player that doesn't quite work out, the fans are going to be on your back. And you look at Real Madrid, and they haven't got a good history of buying quality assured players. You look at maybe Toni Kroos, you look at Benzema, you look at Modric in that team at the minute, and you'd say, obviously, what's his face, Ramos and Carvajal, but a lot of them aren't assured signings. Like, Isco hasn't been great, like, in recent years. He's not been the signing for a 2012 Golden Boy or whatever he was, or a 2014 Golden Boy. He's not quite lived up to it.
The other one, about this, was at one point the most expensive transfer in the world, Gareth Bale.
You say that don't work out, but I mean, Real Madrid fans just shit on him because for whatever reason. But that in my opinion, that worked out.
It did, but they also didn't at the same time, because it was he went there to play better football, play for a better team, but because of the fans, he never really played that much.
Oh, wait there. I want to see whether this is a myth or not. I'm just going to look at his wiki. Because I think he did well there.
Don't get me wrong. He did for what he did. The games he had.
Right. Do you want to know how well he did?
Go on.
So he's there 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He was there for 7 years. He played 251 games and scored 105 goals.
All right.
In 7 years. So what's that? Roughly 15 goals a season?
Not too bad. But it just, you know what I mean, though? Like, it just seems like every player who has a good season, you always get that Real Madrid off. Real Madrid in for 50 million, Real Madrid in for 60 million, Real Madrid in for 45 million, whatever. Like Mendy Furlan Mendy. I know he's doing pretty good now, but when he had his season with Leon, Real Madrid coming in, or this 50 million or whatever it was.
I think that's expected. If you're going to do well for a period of time, the big clubs are going to want you, because if a small club gets you and you turn out to be a world beater, they'd have lost out. That they can afford to take the risks on a player like a Furlan Mendy or someone like, say, if they'd have bought him for 20 million, they can afford to take that risk. But a lower team, a worse team can't. So they're going to buy the players. They're going to be interested because they can afford to take the risk.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true, and that is just down to the money at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. That is what it is, and we need to close the gap rather than bridging the gap.
Yeah. So if Mbappe wants to sign for Burnley anytime soon, he can do.
Did you say Burnley?
Yeah.
Imagine him with Burnley, Chris Wood and Mbappe. What signing?
I think it'd just be Mbappe on the pitch because I don't think we could cover anybody else's wages.
yeah. Sean Dyche and Mbappe, because Sean Dyche is already on the payroll.
Yeah. And then just any fans that want to play.
Yeah. Halfway through the game, if you want to run on and help your team, do it.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I said at the start, it is unfortunately it's the way the game is, and eventually the gap will disappear. Hopefully, eventually.
Yeah, hopefully.
But I think we've covered quite a lot here today. I don't know if I say a lot. Well, really covered two things, but
commercialisation
and then ESL. But then, to be honest with you, not much else has really happened.
Not major news, yeah. Mourinho pretty much, and the European Super League.
Yeah, not much else.
No, not really. We've got to wait for the next set of games.
Yep. And we'll hopefully see. We'll see City. Probably see City winning. City winning another title, probably.
Hopefully, I want Tottenham to win the Carabao Cup though.
Yeah, for me, it's more for Ryan Mason and.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got nothing to do with any of those players. I just want Ryan Mason to win it.
Yeah, it would be great.
It would be nice for him to win, yeah.
But that'll be us for this week, and we will see you guys next week for another podcast. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, leave notifications on so you're notified of every upload. Comment down below what you'd like to see on the channel. Comment down below who you'd like us to get on the channel. I apologise for the lack of video for some of the podcasts, but we had to, as you would have seen from the internet connectivity issues. It'll all be sorted next week. And that's it. And we'll see you guys next week for another podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.